Hello, my name is Lizzie and I'm bringing along a fold to celebrate autumn. I was in Japan this time last year and I was just beginning to see the leaves start to turn. Their autumn is a little bit later than here in the UK. And it's such a magical time. It can be so grey at this time of year, and then seeing these lovely warm colours, the reds, the oranges and the yellows is so uplifting. So I encourage you to really celebrate this time of year, to really go and look at those beautiful leaves, kick them around, enjoy them, and maybe you can join me and make a lovely maple leaf beautiful decoration. And I've been putting them up in my home on the doors, and maybe this is something you can do as well. So actually in Japan I did see these being used as decorations, so I think it might be traditional. It's based on the origami crane, and it's adapted from that, so I think it's very likely that it's traditional, but I don't quite know the origin. So grab yourself some paper. If you have any yellow or orange, it's definitely worth grabbing. You'll need a pair of scissors at some point as well. I'm just realising that myself, so I may need to grab something at some point. Great. Enjoy this, I hope. So grab your paper. I'm going to make it as usual from white, but I'm going to add just a little bit of colour so you can see which side should be which. So as always, I just go slowly, and it's hopefully a time to enjoy doing something just for your own good, something to enjoy and lift your spirits, particularly at this time of year. Folding in half, and all I'm going to do is first of all is make a square. So I fold it in half. I was nice and exact, and a little rip, little nick, and then you can rip it like so. I'm just going to make my square first of all, and as I said, I'm going to add a bit of colour. Maybe you could do some painting or drawing or finding a colour you like. It does look rather good actually if you've got different colours on different sides. If you have origami paper, it can be really nice. So here's another one which I think looks really good, having those little bits of colour showing through. So I'm just making a square. Undoing this little nick. There we go. So it absolutely starts off as the crane. I'm opening this up. I'm just going to add in a little bit of colour. So if you have got origami paper, you can see which side is which, and it also just makes it look a bit more autumny. And it's nice to put out some decorations if you can at this time of year, celebrating the seasons, and obviously soon it will get festive as well. I think it's needed to counteract the grey and the dark, lift your mood. There we go. So take your piece of paper like this, and we're going to go to the white side, fold it in half, in this case along the line I've already got, and then like the crane we're going to take one corner and fold it to the other, and a good strong folds. It's being nice and exact. It's very pleasing getting it right. Just things work well that way. And then you've got a little pocket. So this is again like the crane. Pop your finger into the pocket and push it up to make a little square. Like so. Get rid of any wrinkles. Anything like that will disturb it. Oh, it's that little attention to detail that one thing affects everything else. So turn to the back, and I like to think of almost like a little sail of a ship, just lifting this up against that line that you've already got, like so. And then the same thing, pop your finger in, push it up, and make it into a matching sort of square, like so. There we go. Right. So you've got the sort of open end at the top, gathered at the bottom, and we're going to take one side and fold it to that middle line, just like the crane. And there's actually quite a few nice traditional folds which very much use the crane as the basis. This reminds me a little bit of the swallow, and that's a sort of modified crane. There's all sorts of things. There's dragon. There's all sorts of things that people have taken that inspiration and then modified it. Same thing on the other side, outside to the middle. and shared it. And I think that's what origami is about. None of us would be able to do it if people hadn't shared out of kindness, community. And that's something I think we need more than ever, is that kindness in the world. So this bottom triangle, just lift that up, give it a nice little fold line, like so, and then undo it. And I also like to think of opening a present. It's a nice thought. Hold that triangle at the bottom and open that top layer, like so. I was thinking of like a little bird's mouth opening up. And if you roll in the sides, top goes easily, bottom less easily. All we're going to do is encourage the lines to go different direction. So facing inwards, just be patient. You have to get your fingers in just to encourage it towards the middle, like so. That's it. And we're going to do the same now on the back. Again, just like the crane, bottom triangle, opening up the layers and opening it up, and then rolling in the sides. That's it. And you can see the top went easily, bottom just encouraging along the line that you've already got. That's it. There we go. Right, I always think as with the crane to have the little leggy bits at the bottom. So I've just turned it the other way up. The legs are at the bottom and the wings are at the top. So our next step is at the back, the top almost wing, just bring that down. So that's at the back. So I took the back, brought it down, and now at the front, just bring up these ones, these little flaps up. That's it. Now our next step, it always feels a little unusual, but we're actually going to use the pocket at the side of these flaps. So pop your finger in and then squash it down, but we want to do it at a good old angle. Let me see. So something like this. Something like this. So it's a little bit not symmetrical. It's a little bit narrower there than here. And the same with the other side. So putting your finger in at the side, there is a little pocket there. And then squashing it down. And doing it so it's matching. It could almost be a star if you hid that. Apologies. I had COVID about a month ago and I'm still coughing a bit after that. There we go. Right, so the next thing we need is a pair of scissors. So I've got some over here. Yeah, I'm a bit asthmatic. It's just my asthma back a bit, really. So we're going to do a cut there. See what I'm doing? There we go. So you're going to go along that middle up to that point. There we go. And if you lift that up and bring it out, so I'm lifting this up and out at this sort of an angle, something like that, and then the same with the other, and obviously do it so they look fairly matching, like so. Very good. Right, we're going to work now on the back. So on the back here, we're going to take the long point and bring it down to about that point where these meet. So something like that. There we go. So but it's lined up at the bottom. Now what we're going to do next is do another fold, which will give it a nice point, and it'll also just keep it all together. So this corner we're going to fold down so that it lines up at the bottom. Like so. There we go. So I'll do the same on the other side. So again, this long point bringing to this point here. And you know, if you don't not find it easy, that's kind of the point of origami. It's meant to be a challenge. And it's also why it gives you a sense of achievement, because it's not easy. And actually, what would be the point of really doing it if it was super easy? I think it's about encouraging that attitude to want to do something a little bit ambitious. It's about encouraging that challenge and that ability to overcome challenges. There we go. And I think it's always, you do always need a person to encourage you, don't you, that you can overcome things. So again, this little bit here, we're going to fold down to along and lining up along the bottom. Oh, it's tricky to do it to camera. There we go. So I'm gonna have to see what I'm doing, I think. That's it. Doing your best to sort of line up there. So you can see it's making a nice little shape there. So next we're going to work on the little stalk of the leaf. So taking that triangle, pushing that down. And then we're going to take this bottom edge and bring it along this vertical line. There's quite a few steps, aren't there, in this? So we're going to take this, but we're almost there now. It's a really nice modification of the crane. Gosh, how many things it could become. It's a shape-shifting origami, which is just so playful and so joyful. Bottom edge along this vertical line. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying this. So it is a bit of a sort of a late autumn offering, but I am thinking of how leaves are only just beginning to turn in Japan. And of course, the word origami comes from Japanese. Ori meaning fold and gami meaning paper. And it's nice to think of another area of the world. I think it gives us different perspectives on our own world, which is really healthy. So we've only got one more sort of thing to do here, which is to take this bottom line here and we're going to fold it to the middle line. So as you push it across, you'll find that this area is changing and it adds an extra level to your leaf. So this edge to the middle, like so. So if anyone does know who's designed this, I'd love to know, obviously, to then in credit. But yeah, I couldn't really tell, to be honest. Again, pushing that outside bit down and then squashing that down. And that gives an extra little layer, extra little part of the leaf. So let's turn it around and see how it's looking. Yay! So hopefully you have got yourself a nice little autumn leaf, and I've been putting up a whole series of them, different colours on my door and just celebrating the seasons. I hope you've enjoyed that, and happy folding!